saying it? No, let me see. All right, I did it. Yay. Okay. So yeah, so um I'm just gonna ask everybody, and I'm not being reactionary, right? And you say, oh, Nicola, just be reactionary. But we're done past that. We're just gonna tell you. Um, we've been watching this thing for a number of years. One of the reasons my husband moved and I moved back to Jamaica, because we knew this time was coming. And I've been saying this. Anybody who knows me to say, we know that this time was coming. The last 2 years we went around and we said it. We know this time is coming. These are why we're doing all these strategies when there is no fertilizer around and no plane and no ship can come in. What are we going to do? Everybody hear me say that, right? Everybody hear me say that. And so I'm not a doomsday person, but I'm a person that love to follow trends and look at cycles. I look at large cycles, small cycles. I've always done that since I've been born. I'm always doing that. And as I look at the cycles, I say I see some problems coming on the horizon. And that's what I've been saying. So now we're at a point, and I know that in 6 months' time, because I'm looking at the cycles, that we're going to have some major issues around food security, right? And so I think it's important for us. At least being in Jamaica, we're a little bit more, because we used to kind of how we navigate hurricanes and we store up some things and that kind of stuff. But we have some really challenging times ahead of us. And it's interesting when you hear separate and you hear all these different people are saying it. Normally them don't say nothing, them just really just know it'll come and then the price of things raise. But when you start to hear all these other agencies saying stuff, so that is a real thing. And just for other people to understand, it's not just about obviously the conflict alone, is that because we are so connected globally with these shipments of fuel and stuff, everything, we're going to feel the effects of it in 6 months, because there are already some ships that went to different places that left the canal, or the strait, and it takes a bit of time for those ships to get where they're going to get. So they're already, but then we are going to be affected, right? And I always say, when America has a cold, we get the flu, right? And we have went through COVID when we had logistics problems, and we're importing so much food from the U.S. That it is going to affect us. And we had the big hurricane, which knocked out a lot of our, even though it's a lot of chemicals, we did knock out a lot of the production that would happen, right? So my big question, and I'm asking everybody, because there's this thing at the bottom of your screen that says reaction. I want people, how many people on this call, and we have 56 people, have I'm going to do easy first. How many people have a to-go bag? And you're just going to press that reaction thing and you just, put up like a thumbs up. I want to see some thumbs up. I see one so far. That's going up. How many people know what a to-go bag is? I see 2 thumbs. Hit that thing. All right, I'm going to tell you, for some people don't know. When stuff goes down and you have to run out of your house, right? How many people have that with your documents in there and your things, at least a day of something, a day of supply, a couple of days of supplies in it? Okay. And for those of you who haven't put your thumbs up, I'm asking for real to put that together. Because the people that were in Hanover, Westmoreland, St. James, all those people that house flat and rain come in and whatever, they may not have. And if you're coming in from anywhere else in the world, in the US, Canada, UK, and the Caribbean, I know that we have all kinds of folks on this call. I also am asking you the same thing, because any day, there we go, but with the grace of God, anything can happen. So I would say first, let's do that. And then I'm going to ask you again, how many people have actually put food in the ground in terms of plant a seed, have some food growing for themselves? Can you give me that? And I should be seeing lots of people, right? Lots of people doing that, because we've been doing this for the last 2-3 years, asking people to definitely put food in the ground, because we know this time is coming, right? I really want to see that happen, right? And if you didn't start, I'm not bashing anybody, but I'm really asking you guys to really do this, because we have some interesting times. So they're saying, when I look at my trends and my other folks that are a lot wiser than me, that are actually looking at these cycles, they're saying in 6 months' time, we're going to reach to a point where the price of food is going to even go up to 77% of increase in food, right? And so we need to, wherever you are in the world, it's going to affect you. So we want to make sure that you are prepared, right? You get as prepared as you put up things, anything that you know you need to. I was just telling our group, if something that might break, right? So if it's a piece of something that that is almost on the edge and it's going to break and you need to buy another one, if you have the resources now, access it because everything is going to go up, right? It could be a plumbing part, it could be a water tank, it could be whatever it is that you need to make sure that your system, that you have housing system, farm system, any of those things, that you have a backup for it because a lot of the things is petroleum based. The equipment is based off of that, right? To run the pumps, you need fuel, all those things. So first, we really sit down and look at our houses and our homesteads and really think about what are the systems that we need to tweak? Is it the solar? Is it electricity that you're depending on from JPS? Is it your vehicle parts? Any moving part thing, you need to really look at it and make sure it's in the best condition you can get it in now, right? Or you might need an extra something part for that. If you can afford it, go out and get it. Makes sense because there also with all of this is also a pending currency collapse. So having the money in the bank, that's nice, but you can't eat the digits. Straight up, you can't eat the digits. So make sure you have. The other day, we were in town. We went to 5 different ATMs trying to get money. Not to mention the bank lines are so long, but none of those ATMs had money, right? They were all closed, right? Not there, not access. Do you have some walking around cash in your pockets where if they crash the currency tomorrow and you didn't have it, because that's what it's going to do, right? They create the drama and then they have another system to replace it. So if you don't have any kind of, what can you trade? Cecile's been on me about this whole barter system. What can you barter? What do you have? What can you barter with? There's lots of videos out there what you can barter with. What do you have now that you can barter with? If there's no currency. Yeah, let's just have that conversation, right? So all those kind of things is what I want you guys to be thinking about as you just navigate the space. And you should be just thinking about it anyway, because the writing's on the wall, right? Absolutely right there. So we should be doing that. Right. So I just wanted to come into that conversation, to really have that conversation with everyone. So you're not feeling crazy. You do see the writings on the wall. It is happening as we are speaking. We're living in these times. But also to remind you that I believe that we are here because we chose to be here at this time. And each of us on this call have a responsibility, have something to play in this. So whether it is looking out for your family and your friends and your community, whether it is to share some information or knowledge with someone else, whether it is to, whatever it is that you came on the planet to do, this is the time you came for right now. All the skills that you've gained over the years, this is when you put it into play. We're not going to, I don't know. We're not into that right now. Everyone that has showed up on this call is a divine appointment. That means you're here to hear this conversation. I'm asking everybody to step up into who you are, who you came into the planet to be and do, and to step into that role and really step up and do the work in your heart you're supposed to be doing. So maybe it's connecting, maybe it's farming, maybe it is some technology piece, maybe it's just having a conversation, maybe it's prayer, maybe it's whatever it is that you feel that you can contribute at this time. We should be stepping into it and doing it, right? So if you need somebody to give you permission, I say, go ahead and do it. I'm rooting everybody on. So please step into your own power and divine power that you came on the planet to do, because we need it manifested at this time with all the foolishness that is going on, right? So that is one of the things I just said. Spirit told me to say it, and I'm just saying it. Okay. And also to remind you that, remember, there's always been conflict, right? That's how we test ourselves. And if we don't have these little things happening, we don't step into, because we get kind of lazy and we don't step up to the plate of what we're supposed to be doing. And so this time that we're here right now is to allow us to test our skills, right? Are we able to navigate the space and do the work that we're supposed to be doing. I also wanted to, I put something out, and I don't know if people are seeing it. I think hopefully it's in the chat. I put in the chat in the very beginning. And so what we at Source, and I'm encouraging everybody, like Source is us, Source is Source. We came and we created this thing, and we're figuring it out as we go along, and we're stepping into it. But as I was looking for what are the things that we're doing, we're doing, I want to kind of say, this is what we're doing. And I'm encouraging other people that have demonstration sites or homesteads or whatever it is that you have, is to, you can co-create what it is that you know that is needed as well, right? So if Kingsley, you have your demonstration, you're at a demonstration site space in St. Catherine, and you feel like you want to host a workshop on something, or somebody else has an idea how to do something else, something's going to help us navigate the space. This is the opportunity that we can start sharing our skill sets. So it's not like, oh, Source has all the answers, because we don't. We're just trying to listen, and what we would do for ourselves, we would want other people to understand and share. And that's all we've been ever doing. Oh, we can't build. We learn. All right, let's try this thing, and we build it and we share it, right? And that's what we need to be doing on this. So I'm going to share my screen. I think that I need to open back up to be, I'm going to reclaim host for a second. Okay, thanks. Because I want to open up and share something with you about what we're doing. And then I'm gonna open up the conversation. So if in the chat, I put this link here because I put this link in here so that I'm gonna ask people to, go on it and fill out if you can, and you have the capacity to do any of this stuff, fill out your name and all that good stuff, and where you live, right? And we are doing a bunch of things, right? And this is just examples of what we are doing at Source, and just wanted to share. And it's actually a combination of Source, Ujima, JOAM, doing this work, right? So one of the things that came up for us, and we've been trying to get folks for a while, and I kind of blame myself a little bit of this, because I've known that for a long time we need to do this. We're going to be working on, through the Ujima Farmers Market, and also through, working with JOAM as well, a community-sponsored agriculture project, and we call it the food box. And wait one second, yeah. For anybody that's coming on, I'm asking you to mute, right? I'm going to ask you to mute. So community-sponsored agriculture. This thing started in Japan many, many years ago. It's one of the things that is saving a lot of the farmers throughout the world, is where there's a partnership with the farmer and the consumer, right? The person who wants their produce. So most people understand that from farmer to farm, they have to gather everything and then go farm, right? And farming is an enterprise. And a lot of times, our farmers don't have all of that starting capital to go do it. And the banks are not giving them any money, right? Because it's, too risky, too risky. And so they end up struggling. And a lot of farms end up failing because they don't have the resources to really keep it going and take you through an entire crop. So entire crop is not just putting seed in the ground. A crop means that you've got to water it. It means that you've got to weed it. That's the labor. It means that you have to harvest it and store it and do all that work, right? And maybe even bring it to market. And in that, there's a lot of different expenses. So what a community-sponsored agriculture project does is, like, they say, you join us at the very beginning, you are going to invest some resources with us, and we are going to go buy seeds, go buy whatever it is that we need to, and pay labor, and then take us through the crop. And then at the end of it, or during the process of growing this produce, we're going to give you a certain amount of produce. Now in Jamaica, this is not something that we like to do, because we don't really trust people, and we don't really, we don't really think about the whole cycle of farming. We just know so that we're going to go Carnation Market or some market and food is going to be there, right? And because we're now in this 6-month rush now, because we know that in 6 months' time, food is going to go 77% increase, at least 50. How do we get farmers or people engaged with the farmers to make that connection, right? And so we're really wanting all the people that are on this call and the wider Jamaica community to have this conversation so that we can start to figure out how we're going to do this. Because we tend not to want to pay for it now, right? We want to pay for it. We want what, when it shows up at the market stall. But you're going to be paying a lot more money in a couple of months as you can start to see the price increase happens. So we want to get those who are conscious, because I keep saying super conscious food for super conscious people. So those of you who see the writing on the wall and want to lock in your price, I would say to you, check that box. It's not going to be for everybody, right? And each of these iterations of things I'm going to show you, you're going to check the box, and then we're going to have further conversations around this. Because if you're not interested, you're just not interested, or you just don't have the capacity to deal with it right now. But for me right now, the best thing to do is put food in the ground, know a farmer that you trust with your food, and work with the farmer, or start doing some farming of your own, because you're going to need it. And you're going to need to be able to trade with other folks, right? This is what is going on. I'm not sure why Gladstone is doing that. Mr. Thorny, for some reason, you're on my screen doing something. Are you guys seeing a red streak? Huh?
Nikki, make me a co-host. Make me a co-host so I can stop people from doing all those things.
All right. Well, Nahala is here as well. I'm going to stop sharing for a second because somebody's jumping in and doing some things that they're not supposed to be doing. So 1 second, Cornell. Nahala, are you not co-hosting anymore? They have changed a bunch of things with this, with the Zoom, if you noticed lately. And so they've added all these bells and whistles. And
yeah, I noticed.
Celine. Thanks, Celine. Selena, I'll also make you can help me add folks. Sorry about this, guys. And I'm confirming you as well. All right, we need the text. We need text. All hands on deck on this one. Okay. So I'm going to go back to Sharon. Sorry about this technical difficulty. Are you guys seeing it?
It's not saying, yeah, there you go.
Okay, so that's the community-sponsored agriculture project, right? Supported agriculture. This is a time for if you're setting an office setting and you can't go to a farm and you don't know a farmer, you check that box. And we're going to gather those folks that are interested in this. We're going to be working with you, whichever parish you're in, to make sure that you're able to get food, and you're not going to be paying prices of food where it's so expensive. You can't, we're not getting nutrition that we need. And you've seen that, right? You've seen this happen like right now, currently all over the world. There's definitely food insecurity, and we want to make sure that that is something that we avoid, because those who know operate better than the ones who don't know. On this form, you also see on-farm volunteers. I've had a number of people that want to learn how to farm and they don't have access to a farm, or they want to participate because they want to put their hands in the ground. I know that for sure that Kermit does these classes, and I encourage people that Kermit is also wonderful at teaching this and sharing this. So you're in an urban setting, rural setting, you want to see a really good practice. Kermit, he's a demonstration site for JOAM. Excellent, excellent. Sign up for his workshops. Cecile's on the call. She also helps him coordinate these events. We really want to ensure that everybody has the skills that they need so that they can be able to feel comfortable about growing whatever that crop is, and taking it through that cycle. And then also the JOAM demonstration sites, that's what they're there for. So if you have a question or problem, all the people that are doing this, that are heading up these sites, are seasoned farmers, and you should have no problem. If you have a problem, reach out to us at JOAM, reach out to me, check the box, and I will help you organize yourself to get yourself connected to a farm, right? And I just straight up tell you, straight up, like somebody, when the time comes and the food becomes really more expensive, the person who come and help me on my farm is more likely to get something than the person who, I don't even know who are they. Like, what? Now you want to show up? Let's not wait until it's right at your door before you come and introduce yourself, right? you have a friend, call them for a long, long time and something happened. That's when you're going to call them. No, no, that's not how it's going to work, right? The other thing that we're doing is um, creating medicine for yourself, right? We did this at Source Farm. We look at what happened with COVID. We knew that certain medicines were good for us for respiratory stuff. We just got together and said, we're going to make some tinctures. We're going to make some medicine. And we just made about 7, 8 different kinds of medicine for ourselves. And each household has them, right? We know who made the medicine and we learned how to do it. So I know that Cecile and Dr. Pickin are the lead of this project. That is, if you're interested in that, please do check the box and you will be put into that network of folks that are making medicine. How many people want to learn how to make tinctures and medicine, right? It is possible for you to be responsible for that, and you can make your own, right? So you know what's going in your body. Upcoming, we do have a workshop at Source. Professor Sarah Smith, she is going to be doing indigo dyeing on April 19th. She is coming from the US, wonderful fiber artist and also weaver. So anybody's interested in any of that stuff, I just put it in the network. You can, that is very much, you just check the box and I put you on a list so get more information from and a flyer for that workshop, right? The next thing we have is the urban composting project is part of the Genesis project. For those of you who may have missed the composting training that Lee's from Durgiston did, that is the vermicomposting, the compost, and the Johnson Sioux. She's going to be doing that workshop in Hope Gardens in May. If you're interested in and you missed it because we went around the island and maybe you didn't know about the Genesis project and you want to get that information again, check the box and we will make sure that you get invited to that workshop and when we have the date confirmed. So why is the compost important? Because the fertilizer prices are going to go through the roof and we don't use that anyway. We have to grow our own fertility, right? So you do your first crop, everything come up beautiful. When we've done that, you extract a lot of nutrients out of the soil. You have to now come back in with organic matter. Or your soils are like clay, right? And you need organic material in there. We were up in Manchester the other day and we were showing them about Johnson Sioux. And that was like, that soil, you could just make pots out of it, right? Clay pots, right? That's how that soil was so dense. So we need to get organic material in that and the fertility to grow our own fertility. So that is the conversation we'll be having at that workshop. So if you miss it, check the box. We are going to go back to the podcasts that we've been doing. These podcasts started out working with farmers that had problems with tomatoes, or they want to know to grow peppers, or they want to know to grow whatever. We're going back with that. We're going to take a crop at a time, right? We're going to be doing maybe sweet potatoes. We're going to be doing Scotch bonnet peppers. We're going to do tomatoes. We're going to do the different families so that you're like, well, what happened when Mr. the stink bug? What happened with the white fly? What happened with this and that? So when you go through that cycle with that particular crop, you will understand everything that you need to know about how to navigate the space. So you can't say, well, we had white flies and so we have to spray it up with some chemical. We're going to take crop at a time. And that's what we're going to be doing for the next couple of months and take everybody through that farming practice, the permaculture training, and also the organic farming different practices. So you understand, and then you can have that conversation about the tomato and the worms and the tomato and the rot, all those things. We're going to have those experts on to help us go through the crops, right? There is going to be an earth bag workshop hosted by Source. So anybody that wants to learn how, maybe you know somebody, or maybe your house blow down, or maybe you're thinking about building a structure and you want to learn how to use earth bag, right? We're actually having a workshop to take you through all the steps of it. You'll be able to help build. We actually are going to be doing this for a build for one of the families that lost their house. So that would be a great opportunity to take you through all those steps and you'll learn how to do it. This is all about sharing the information and the knowledge so that you guys can get what you need. So maybe you already have your house and you want to build a little something for your cows, or I don't know, some kind of structure. You'd have had that information, right? We're opening it up. We're going to be sharing that information with you. And check that box, and we know that you're interested in that particular earth bag building workshop. The other thing that we'll be doing is we are permaculture design. Some people missed the permaculture design course that we hosted in February. Guess what? It took us 20 years or 18 years, 18, 19 years. Let's not say quite 20 yet. And CASE has agreed, College of Agriculture, Science and Education has agreed after all those years to actually host a permaculture design certification. And for those of you who may not know what it's all about, it's about designing your homestead or your anything you want to any structures or living things that spaces that we want to be in. It's about designing it, right? Before we implement. And even if you're thinking about farming, you really need a design, because we think a lot of people end up losing money and waste their time because they haven't the design. Everybody else has made designs on us, but we ourselves have not designed it. And if you design, you have a much more likely chance of success. My husband always says, measure 10 times and cut one time. Measure 10 times and cut once. And that's what you're doing with the design course. You're measuring, you're making sure. I'd rather you mulch up the paper and, take out paper and throw it in, than you go on a piece of land and put a bulldozer upon a land and start removing all the trees and doing all this destruction because you have not a clue what you're doing. And that's what I'm seeing now. A lot of people returning home and then get a piece of land and we see the big bulldozer, I push down everything. Everything that you need, you're now destroying because you don't understand. And so this course allows you to understand that, right? So if you're interested in the course that CASE is going to be offering, you check the box, right? Or if you know somebody, you share that information. We know that there's going to be another permaculture course happening. Normally we only have one a year. And the fact that we're able to have another one this year is a huge thing. So and I think that, we look at the pricing. I don't think it's going to be as expensive because it doesn't have to be a residential course, right? So check the box and we will be sending you and following up with you. One of the other things that we're doing on the Genesis project is disaster management. So we went through this hurricane and you saw what happened. One of the things we had put on the original Genesis project was about this brigade, because when we went to Puerto Rico, a couple of us traveled and we saw what happened after Hurricane Maria, I think it was. The farms and the places that was set up using permaculture, they were able to recover much quicker, right? They're able to recover much quicker because they had designed and laid out for all of those things. And what the people did in Puerto Rico, they had a brigade. They had people trained up in chainsaw, how to put in swales, how to do different practices. So when they're able to go in, they were able to go back and help those folks. So we're looking for people who are interested in learning and being part of the brigade, just like what we did. When we had, obviously, hurricane happened, we were able to put together a chainsaw brigade. And we went down to the demonstration sites and said, all right, we're coming in with our chainsaw. We're going to be showing you, okay, this is charcoal, this is biochar, this is compost, and being able to cut up and, make good suggestions for those who didn't do some of the practices, what they need to do. And it's going to be about 3 or 4 day training and a certification that you're now part of the disaster management recovery effort. Because if you're waiting for anybody else to do it, so that you saw what went down and that didn't happen, right? I'm going to open up the conversation a little bit and we can talk about that. You saw that, maybe somebody walking around with a chainsaw and they want $200,000 for them for cut down a couple of trees. We would, within our group, right, or you'll be trained how to safely use chainsaws. We even are bringing in some certain smaller ones that women, men, everybody can know how to use them. We need to know how to use these things because, we get hurricane every year. We get wind issues where we get a lot of wind. Things blow down. We need to know how to deal with it safely. And one of our last things we want to do, we're going to be doing is food preservation. People have been asking us that. How many people know if it can? How many people know to solar dry? How many people know to ferment? Right? Do you know how to do these things? So we want to make sure anybody's interested in doing it or anybody who knows how to do it, we'll check the box, give us a call. We want to make sure that this happens not just in St. Thomas or in Kingston, but also around the island, so people will learn how to do these things to make sure that we can preserve what we have. Okay, Now, this section of the forum, are you a participant? Are you an instructor? Are you a volunteering? Do you have resources to donate to this cause because everything needs a little bit of cash? Do you have, and are you want to be part of the administrative team, right? Are you willing to host an event? Are you part of the setup and breakdown? Are you going to help us with the food service coordination? What can you do? Right? I think we have over 50 people on the call. Everybody has some kind of skill set that they have. And I'm asking, everybody, all hands on deck. What can we do to help each other out, right? And create that community that we know we need so much. Because as I said, one hand can't clap. So when you go through the form, check the thing, what you want to do, could be a couple of things, and then we will be in touch. All right, one last request. Me beggy, right? Because we need some help. And sometimes somebody told me that if you don't ask for what you want, you're not going to get it. So one of the things that we are so blessed with is that we were donated that 370 acres of land to do the research station, to do the post-harvest space, to do all that work. And we have been waiting from 2018 from a lovely, lovely agency to be able to put this into practice. And I remember when we started out, I kept saying, I'm going to wait until the afterclaps come before they give us this money for do this thing. And while they have signed on and said that we're supposed to receive this money to be able to rehab the space, it is now 2026 and we started in 2019. And we know that they're going to do something, but when? And we have an issue because we want to secure the roof of the space because it's not a bad roof. It's just that there's some elements to it. So the rats are coming in. So we haven't been able to produce our cassava flour or breadfruit flour or do any of our processing, which would be very helpful in this time when we need to have light manufacturing going on in the country. And so I know that there's somebody out there that has lumber, right? That can help us seal up this building or can donate some cement, a bag of cement, or we need an exhaust fan or hardware items or whatever it is that we need for this. Or they can donate, we have to pay the labor person a day of labor, right? I know that in this group, there are people that have this material or can do that. A bag of cement, what, $2,000 when I can put something towards something. We need that to happen because it don't make sense to wait any longer for these folks to do this thing. Meanwhile, we know that we have this food insecurity. Currently, I have cassava growing on the property. We have other people that are growing cassava. We want to process this cassava because just so you know, all the flour that I eat are coming on a ship. And when no plane and no ship come in, what are they going to do, right? Invest now with us and help us get this thing done. So at least so you have put that energy in to really secure. We live on an island. We have to be very aware of what is going on. So I see a hand up. I'm going to take questions in a little bit. So this is what we're making that request for. Also, we need work, people to come out and to get connected. So don't feel like it's just a thing. If you are on island or if you're off, we have people that during hurricane, friends of ours that put their own money and buy them ticket and come down and was here for over a month and help the different demonstration sites, chainsaw or whatever. If you're on island and you can take one day out of your schedule to come and help us put something in the ground or help us do this the post-harvest rehabilitation space, let me know. And there's always something to do. And this is the time of all hands on deck. So I've said a whole lot of something today, and I just want to share that with you. But this is really a call to action for all of us, whether you are wherever you are on the planet, whether if you're on island or off island, it's time, right? If you're on island, all hands on deck, we all need help. And also it's about building that relationship. Within the parishes, there's demonstrations, JOAM demonstration sites. You can link in and get connected to the demonstration site space so that they are able to work. You can help them and they can help you. Make that connection. There's a lot of resource people around that are farmers that can help if you want to know about farming. Everybody have a skill set. And this is when we're going to bring it to bear, right? So I'm going to stop sharing and stop talking. And I'm going to open up I know people had their hands up, so we're gonna be respectful of the time, right? Because we're gonna go until maybe another, it's like 5:30. Usually we're supposed to be done at 4. We're gonna open it up and then be respectful of everybody's time and the story. So get your thoughts together when you come on and see what it is that you have to say or share, okay? The mic, the thing is yours. I'm going to mute myself. Who had their hand
Well,
up?
I had my hand up, Nikki, and I was really just going to ask you to give folks a synopsis because some people had jumped in the middle of the presentation and might not had been clear about where you had started. They knew where you ended up, but they didn't know where you started. So maybe go with the CSA thing a little bit back to the community supported agriculture and then just for folks who came on late.
Okay, thanks. So for those of you that joined a little bit later, what we're trying to do is to get folks connected to food and food security because you're going to have issues. One of the strategies is a CSA, which is a community supported or sometimes sponsored agricultural project that we do. And that is where we'll do it like a month at a time. Like you could pay, sometimes people pay for the quarter or the whole growing season, or they can only do a month. So if you lock in with the farmers, so they have that resource with us. We're going to obviously aggregate the thing and work with the farmers that are working with the CSA box. And then they can get the equipment and the tools and the things that they need so that they can then, and also labor, so that they can put the food in, right? If they can put the food in, then they're able to be ready for this 6 month. I mean, we know that in 6 months, we know for sure that there's going to be price increases. So how do we get the support the farmers know so that they have, food growing and all the things, land prep and all the things that need to happen. So the in the body of the chat, in the very beginning, I put that link, the form, as a Google form. You click on that, wherever you are in the world, or if you have other notes or information, whatever, you can click what it is that you can do. But I'm also encouraging you to utilize this Google form for yourself and your community. So if you're not near us and you're in another place or another island or another country or whatever, you can look at that. What is it that you can do, right? So maybe you can start your own CSA wherever you are, or maybe it is that you need to, volunteer on a farm, or do you want to take a permaculture course somewhere else? These are all the strategies, again, for us to kind of work together and to start making community with each other. So we're not all feeling isolated and alone, right? So if you look on the forum, you'll be able to, but I think it's the first thing that's in the chat. So click on that and you're able to see what we're doing. And of course, we're always looking for not just, we're looking for support, but also about creating community, right? Because at this time, when you see all this madness is going on, you'll be able to know there's somebody else that is out there and they're maybe having a similar thing. And there's the connections that matter and the synergies and all that stuff. So we really are trying to bring the folks together that came on the planet at this time to really do the work they came in to do. So I hope that is helpful for those of you that just joined us or, didn't hear the whole thing. And Natalie reminded me to record. So we'll be able to hopefully when somebody can, I'm not really great on this technology thing. Somebody will be able to, put it and post it if you want to hear the whole conversation. All right, who else is out there that have a question, a concern? We're here, or not sure about what we're doing, or anything like that. Please, this is the time.
Well, we've had some offers in the chat for materials as well as folks sharing information about training. Both Cecile and Anna Kay brought up at least basic like Red Cross training or first aid CPR stuff. And so I've encouraged those folks to put that information in the chat as well if they have contacts or how we can move that work forward or if they do it. Because we do have nurses on the land or a nurse at least on the land. But it'd always be good to have more people who can do very basic like first aid training things as well.
Absolutely. I see Wendy, Miss Wendy Jill.
Hi, Nicola. Excellent job as usual. We will speak off the air in terms of personal approach and company approach.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm going to call you. So just get ready for that.
I thought,
so I'm happy. Okay,
Nicola,
great.
I'm wondering if there could be a list of the things that you need and then estimation of how much they cost, like a bag of cement and like what are the things that are on your list to, secure the location and make it functional again so that people can decide, all right, may have $2,000, may have this, I can do that.
Right. So we know that the cement is around 2,000 at this point. And last time I checked, it was like 1,000, almost 9 or something like that. There's some lumber that is needed, and I think they're like 1x6s. I know Colleen is always up on these numbers. So Colleen, what I think is 1x6s that we need to do to put around the skirting of the between the roof and the wall that is there. So I'm not sure the price of that, to be honest. And that's why I said just check the box that you're interested in doing that, and then we'll get you the prices of that. Because this, we're waiting now 5 years, so we can't wait no more, right? And it really is not going to take a whole, if everybody one cocoa full basket that everybody put together, then we can literally start processing, right? We'll be held out of the place because obviously the sanitation is a major issue. We cannot have the rats running through the place. We need some blocks to re-block up that wall, put the fan in there, and we're done. And then we can start producing cassava flour. Right. And any of us who have gluten issues will know so that this is one of the best things for us. And we've been, and it's beautiful. Right. And if anybody want to come and help us with the cassava flour making, just put it in the thing, because it's really a beautiful process to watch happen, that we actually can make our own flour. Every time I do it and I do the process, I'm just like amazed, like, oh, we make flour. You know what I mean? It's not something that you just buy in a store and you just think it's not accessible to you. So all the things that we're doing, it's open source, right? We want to share what we're doing. It's not hide up something that we know we don't want nobody to know to do. We want to share the information so other people can learn how to do it. And this is also when you get some of the younger people involved, because I know that the other day we had folks come up with the kids to put seeds in a seed tray. Very important to see us doing that work, right? And to make that connection. So absolutely.
I'm thinking of something that looks almost like a registry when people are having a baby shower or like a wedding, so that people can choose, like, right, I care about doing this thing. I have that amount of money to do that thing, so that people just have clarity as to what they need to get.
Right. And if they check the box, we can send all of that out. It's just like we were putting it last night. We didn't get a chance to get all the prices. But if you're interested in one piece of lumber, you check the box. If you have the capacity for the cement, and then we just reach out to you. That's what we're going to do for right now. But definitely want to set up a registry to get this done. And we're not going to drag this thing out. We just need to get it done. Right? Anyone else? No, man, we have 68, I would say, friends and family on this thing. I want to talk to some people. Right? I'm going to open up the mic then. I see Camille on here. I see Dr. Mortley was on here. I see on here.
Nicola?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yes, this is Otilia. How do we find out about the costs of any of the workshops and stuff?
So most of the work, obviously the water workshop is no cost. The permaculture course that's coming up, we have not, we just found this out on Thursday. I just wanted to list it and make people know that. And, you and I have to work on that with the people at CASE. The indigo dye, if you check the box, then we'll send you the flyer, right? It was Michelle, who's normally here doing all this behind the scenes work, was not able to do that. That's why I said, check the box. In the flyer, in the Google Drive, you check that box. But most of the things that we're doing is not very expensive. The most that it would be, if there is a cost to the workshop, is maybe $5,000 or something like that. Of course, not the permaculture course, because that is a whole different 2-week certification course. But if you're interested in something, check it, and we'll make sure that you get the information for it. But most of the things in there is like the composting course. Show up, and remember that in most of these courses too, there's always these scholarships that are floating around. So if you really are hard pressed to something, I know that all of us are always trying to make some kind of way to make it happen if you really want it to happen. I always say to people, don't let the cost of something stop you from doing what you're supposed to be doing. If something you want bad enough, I know for me, it's something me want to do, Me no say me go harass a person. I may volunteer. I may be at the TA or the PA or the whatever to assist somebody to do something. So I always, there's always some way to get the thing that you need, right? And the reason that there might be a cost on something, because say for instance, we're making the tinctures, there's alcohol that needs to be purchased. Or I might say, all right, you have a lot of guinea hen weed, you bring that. You know what I mean? It might be something that you might be able to trade. And this is also where we get into the thing about the trading, right? We really have to start looking at how it is, if we don't have the cash, what it is that we can barter with. And I'm saying to everybody on this call, there's 68 people on this call, what do you have to barter? You have toilet paper, you have matches, you have food, you have some skill. What do you have? And if you don't have any of those things, you better get something.
There's a question in the chat about whether or not the permits and the plans for the facilities are all done.
The permit and the plans for which facility?
For the facility at GWG, the processing that we need the cement and stuff for.
So the facility itself had already gone through a permitting process, and the roof that was put on, I mean, we've gone through all that. It's just that the roofer did not complete the last piece of it. He put the roof on, but they never put the skirting around, and that's where we're having the problem. So that's already gone through parish council and all of that stuff. So we do have all of that stuff set. The person who asked that, if they are a person that do permits, we always love to talk to them. If you're an architect or you're a builder or designer, always, because there's a lot of work that we are looking at doing for the recovery effort in the West, and people are needing those skills. But for us, we are set. We have that. And anything that we need to do, we're not necessarily building a new building. It is just the finishing of the thing that the person, how Jamaica people stay, they do the thing and then not finish it. They want like a piece and supposed to do it, no. And that is what is really causing us a problem. So we are in touch with another roofer, but we need to complete that piece of it. Yeah.
If you have that skill or any skills, as Nikki said, just put it on the form as other.
Right.
And like just write it in wherever you can, and then we'll figure it out and make a way to get in touch. Gladstone had a question. Go ahead, Gladstone. Your hand was raised. You have to unmute.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Nicole?
Yes,
There's a price that you will have to pay. I want one of the dome houses that you have over in St. Thomas.
Okay, well, there's a lot of material included, yes, in that. So you would have to pay for that one because it's
No.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to pay for it.
I'm going to pay
my
for it.
concern, you see, when you talk about food security, it starts with the seed for me. And we have been importing into this country a whole heap of hybrids that don't make any sense to me.
Right.
I no longer plant hybrids.
Right.
If I can't save the seed, I am not going to buy it.
Right.
So I think we need to start acting. We need to start acting more to secure varieties that will ensure that if another war breaks out, if there is any threat of famine, it does not affect us nor our country.
Exactly.
We have to start with the seeds.
So the thing, we have a project called the People Seed Project. The People Seed Project. And that's one of the things that anyone that comes over to the research station, that's one of the things that we're going to ask for help with. And it's, as a matter of fact, it's not just at the research station or at Source Farm. It is when we went through JOAM throughout all the parishes and demonstration sites, we had a training on seeds and germplasm, right? And there's probably people on this call that attended that. And so we all give out the books, them and the thing and the cards. All that stuff is there because we knew that this is a major problem. It's a major problem because those of us who care about food security and we cannot use the treated seeds, And if you're doing organic production, you can't have treated seeds. It will render you not organic, if you're going for certification. And on top of it, why we don't want to use the treated seed? Because when you look at those seeds, it's already filled with covered with chemicals. Why are we planting chemicals in our soil, right? On the seed. So we need to make sure that the seeds that we are utilizing are, heirloom, organic, not treated, all that stuff. And also set for our microclimate, because a lot of these seed breeders, that whether they're organic or not, are doing this in a very northern exposure. And so when we get the seeds, the yields are not what they should be because they're not adapted to our microclimate. So I'm saying to all the farmers, right, that are on the call, we have to make sure that when we're growing something, we want to sell the product, but we have to let some of it go to seed, right? And we have to save the seeds. And we have to learn how to save the seed properly. That's what the coursework was all about. One more thing. So on the podcast again, we will bring back and have other seed breeders and other seed growers, just a specific thing about, because saving seeds is also a specific science to it. It's not just about just put something anywhere and then you expect to get anything. There's certain ways you could have saved the seed and it's not good later on. Some seeds go faster than others. And one of the best ways to do it is to make sure that you keep planting out the seed. All right, so your turn, Gladstone. Yes.
I remember about 15 years ago, I became concerned about the availability of seeds. And I bought a book. Susan Ashworth was the author, Seed to Seed. I think we have to get to the point where we get the plants to be adapted to our local environment, to our microbiology that we have in our soils, and then they will perform better. We're leaving it to somebody else. We can't leave it. You mentioned the fungicides.
Right.
I bought a book. Charles Walters was the author, Weed Control Without Poisons. And in that book, he described how an Italian scientist did his work and found that the use of fungicides were the equivalent of equivalent to a nuclear fallout. So every time somebody uses some chemical fungicides on the crops, then they are actually nuking the food that people are going to eat. We can't continue poisoning the food that our people need. Jamaica is our responsibility, and we have to take it seriously. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And keep up the good work. And I expect you to be wanting them. I know you don't like people that much, but you have a lot of information and a lot of knowledge. You're an excellent organic farmer, and all your tools that everything. So this man that is on the phone now, he knows his stuff. I respect him as a farmer, and you should be also sharing. So I know I'm going to come and organize some workshops in your area. You hear that?
We need to do a workshop with him. Gladstone, get ready. So she's ready for you.
All right. So
Camille also has her hand up.
I'm shy.
Yeah,
I'm shy.
We'll work through that.
We'll work with it.
Okay.
Miss Edwards, Camille.
Yes. Hi, everybody. So, Nicola, I'm watching the patterns as well and the cycles, and I want to do all the things. So I'm just praying for clarity. I'm doing doula training now to have something to trade, a skill to trade, but I want to do all the things. I'm coming down the end of this month to actually look at a property, and hopefully I'll be able to plug in. But at the moment, I don't have clarity about what I'm going to be able to do, except financially. I know I can help financially, but I want to be, involved in all the trainings, the medicine and the permaculture and the emergency management brigade and all of that. So I'll check all those boxes, but I just wanted to chime in so you know that I am very much involved and interested.
Well, okay, and yeah, definitely we will be seeing you.
Yeah.
Normally everybody, she don't just sneak in and she's Nico, right? So what she's just really saying is that she's just letting everyone, she's like, we're there. All right, I'd expect to see you. I know.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. You know what it is. All right.
All right.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, darling.
And we have Miss Ronaldo with a hand up as well.
All right.
Hi. My
Hi.
Greetings.
greetings. As per usual, I always love the presentations that Nicola give because they're needed and vital at this time, at any time, really. One of the things I wanted to share, or rather tap into, that as much as we're saving our seeds and we're saving our foods and stuff, it's also important that we know about like the breakdown of the nutritional value of the food at each stage of the food. So I know Nicola gonna ask me, so I'm saying it from now that I'm volunteering also as a host to also teach how to prepare your food without fire. So prepare living foods. But you know what happens if there's no fuel or you don't have anything around you that can create a fire. We can't always wait on lightning. But there is a space where we need to know how to prepare the foods, how the foods react with our bodies, because food is medicine. So everything you consume, it has to be for the betterment of your health. So even just so I wanted to add that in as a wholesome part of it. So whenever you're ready, Nicola, and we want to hold some live food workshops surrounding that, I am here. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You know that I'm calling you when we get off. We're gonna make that schedule. We could already do one easily at the farmers market, but we need to also go around the island as well. So we'll talk about that schedule.
Yes, definitely.
And we have Mr. Wayne with another hand raised. You ready for you, Wayne?
You can unmute. Hit the button, Wayne. Or you want me to unmute you? I don't even know if I can do it. Ask to unmute. Can we do that further? Do we have the technology to be able to do that? I don't know.
Let me see. Yeah. No, it only asked me to
Oh, okay,
unmute
there you
you.
are. Oh, you were there for a second and you unmute yourself again. All right.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I've been listening to this with keen interest. Okay, so the interesting point is this. Does or is there any availability through JOAM in terms of organic seeds? One, that's my first question. The next question is this. Is there a list that JOAM has in its possession of farms that are actively performing organic practices or using organic practices? It's great to talk about it in theory, but are there any farms that are producing organic products? And if so, could you present a list of those so that I could probably, or someone could probably just go and visit this farm and say, this is what is happening. Theory is great.
Yeah, man, we
Great
know
to
about
have
theory.
demonstrations and all that, but I need to see a farm that's actually practicing organic
So
in
Wayne,
Jamaica.
where are you? Where are you located?
Technically within St. Mary region.
St. Mary. Okay. So we don't no. So we have a number of places in St. Anne and Trelawney all the way around. So we can give you the list of the farmers that are doing the practice, and they've been farming for a very long time, doing this work. Most of the people that are doing they come to the farmers market in Kingston. So we have a number of farmers that they bring the produce there. And then we have other people that are not necessarily traveling all this way, but we do have them. So what you could do is leave your contact in the thing, and I will get you the list of the farms that actually are doing the work. And each of the parishes, I would say, why I say not in St. Mary, because the demonstration site we have is at Orange River. And that's the research station is not organic, right?
Okay,
But
so,
we have a number of
technically,
other people that are doing this, and they're doing it as a livelihood, and they're selling the produce. They're doing value-added products, not a problem. So you just don't.
right.
We need to put you into the link, and then I connect you to a site that you can also you know, if you're interested in volunteering or you want to learn more, it's there, right? So type your contact info into the thing, and we'll grab it, and I will send you the list of the folks.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, man. And there are a number of people on the call right now that are actually organic farmers that are, you know, that are there. There's Kingsley. There is, you know, Mr. Thorne.
Somebody just dropped something in, we put in the chat, Wayne, so
Yeah,
make
man,
sure you check the chat.
I really
Solitary Yard is on the border of St. Mary and St. Anne and St. Catherine. They're going
Ferguson is
organically.
there. Chris is there.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a Joe
See
boy,
that for me is what I want to hear. I want to be able to have communication. I want to be able to see
yeah, man.
actual lettuce, and you tell me what it was that you were doing to get it to this stage and all. I want to see this. I want to see the actual produce in the ground.
Wayne.
Growing.
Wayne.
Yes, ma'am.
You said you're in St. Mary. St. Mary is a big parish. Where exactly?
Where are we? Pembroke area.
So you're near to Kingston then, right?
I'm sorry?
You're near to Kingston then?
Kingston. Who's Kingston?
St. Andrew? You're near to St. Andrew then?
No.
Pembroke Hall.
No. Pembroke Hall is also in St. Mary. There's a Pembroke Hall in Kingston.
Yeah, but the Pembroke Hall that you're at is near where then? Which
is it closer to St. Anne or is it closer to Kingston?
Right.
That's in St. Anne and St. Catherine area, roughly. That's
so near Gale then? You're in a Gale area? Guys Hill, Gale?
Yeah, near to Guys
right,
Hill.
so we have people. We have
okay.
Marcia Walker, who grows stuff.
Right.
There, so it's, you see, when you say a parish, you know, I mean, if you say St. Mary, I would automatically want to think like Highgate.
All right, could I then get a link with this individual?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they're there.
We're gonna give it a
Marcia Walker is there.
So that I can actually see their stuff in action.
Wayne, leave your contact information in the bottom and fill out the form. That is essential, but also leave your contact right now and we'll grab it.
We'll get you the link. And this is what we want. We want people to
check the chat.
We want folks to go and engage with the farmers, and organize as well. You're not going to just pop up whenever you feel like popping up, but organize and go and we want people to come and be in there and volunteer. One hand can't clap. We can't do this all by ourselves, right? So we need people and we want to train you up so that you can do your thing as well. But more people doing this work is just going to make everybody's, you know, a lighter work. All right, I'm going to move on to Dr. because they're giving time check.
And then we had Maxine.
Wait.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, Dr. Martin.
Thank you, Wayne.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. No, just on the subject of the seeds and other planting materials, have you considered that other route where you would plant the untreated seeds and grow them for about 3 years?
Yes, as we have been. That's what I've been telling folks. So mostly, I don't know if everybody on the call understands what the challenge that we've been having. In order for us to import seeds into the country, there are a number of regulations. One, you have to get a permit and an inspection permit to allow to bring it in. And then on the other end, because it's organic and it's not treated, you have to have an independent lab that's going to test the batch of seeds and give it authentication and a phytosanitary certificate. And you have to purchase a seed. So they've put these restrictions on us because they're afraid of some fungus or things coming in and they can't manage it in the country. I can understand that. Even though the organic farmers have never, ever, there's been no documentation on any organic farmers ever caused a problem with anything like that. And a lot of the seed companies that we do purchase from are reputable seed companies. So, you know, government have them thing, but this is what I think. So it's caused a problem because a lot of people are just smuggling seeds in, and because they're doing what they're doing. You know, I see both sides of the coin. But what Dr. Martin is talking about, that within organics, the policy, if you can't find the seed, you can take a treated seed, not planted on your organic plant. You plant it somewhere else that is not going to go for any kind of certification. And you grow that seed out. And after the first, it's not even 3 years. I think in the policy, it's like the first growing out of it, if you grow it organically, you can then track and say, okay, that seed was maybe at first it was treated, but if you're growing it out and you're growing it organically, and you can now claim, but you have to document it, that now is something you can take and put in your organic system. So the track and trace ability of that. And so
Right.
in speaking to the folks at Bodles who are responsible for a certain amount of seeds, which when we had COVID, they didn't have any seeds. They didn't have any seeds. It made me now go back and say, all right, instead of fighting them with this whole thing, because right now, to be honest, the ministry have about $3,000 worth of the project seeds that we have not been able to liberate. And we don't have fight with them, right? So that's why it's so important. Know that if you do have seeds, and most of who are growing and have seeds, you have to know, grow them out. Don't just say, all right, we're going to go to the farm store, because right now, food insecurity is an issue. Because we go to the farm store, there's only 2 tomatoes. You have a plum tomato and you have a salad tomato. You have 2 cucumbers. You only have 1 type of onion.
Right.
It is not food security, because anything happens to you in a trouble. So I know Kingsley is going to come on and speak more about this. So it's very important for us, and not only just the cash crop seeds, but you have ackee. You want to plant the ackee. You have a nice mango you like. You have any other fruit you like. This is a pear. Anything that you're eating and you find a seed in it, put it in a bag. Germinate it, and please do have it available. And you can go and water it until you find a place to plant. If you have a place to plant, then let us know, right? Or you have a whole lot of those and you want us to plant them out somewhere. People have called us and said, "Listen, I have a whole lot of this, and I don't know where to put it because I don't have the space for it." And then we've found homes for it. Okay, so that is. But thanks, Doc. That is definitely.
Yeah, and just one bit quickly. I know somebody else has their hand up, but you may find an easier path even starting with crops that you propagate vegetatively. Like sweet potatoes, like cassava, other crops. You could start that and then get them into so you can expand your crop menu, so to speak,
right?
For organic production. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially those kind of crops, like the sweet potatoes and those things, which we need a lot of underground crops, so that if a storm comes through, everything is not.
Right.
So we really should be planting those things. Really, sweet potato and cassava, please don't get someone put in the ground, because they're going to want. Remember, I can make flour out of that, right? I can make potato flour and I can make cassava flour.
Absolutely.
Right?
4 varieties on the 25th of March. It was a little cool still, but they are already producing roots in the field, cassava.
Okay, yeah. So this is a real deal. I see Maxine, and then I'm going to go to you, Kingsley.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
Nicole, somebody threw a spanner in my wheel this evening, and I hope I'm not throwing one in yours. This is something that you have considered. He said to me, we're planting outdoors, Maxine, but all it takes is an ounce of nuclear chemical, to ruin our food.
Yeah.
That's it.
So what do you do about that? So we already, like just most of us in Jamaica, you have some food stored already. So, you try to make sure that's why we're doing canning and preserving and all those kind of things. And that is actually on the table for these folks. They're actually actively talking about it. They're going to nuke someplace. I mean, I thought we were past that. And so we do our best, all the things that we can do to try to make sure that we are, you follow the guidelines. You can Google all kinds of stuff about storage of food and that kind of stuff. But at least put up the seeds then, we're going to plant some seeds, but you have some seed storage, right? Not only the Millennium Vault people then can do that. We can take some of the seeds and we can, most of the seeds that usually are stored were always stored in the ground. So if you have some things, put some things aside. We just have to be wise about what we're doing and hope get the space. But I'd rather us not, for us to sit here and act like nothing happened is crazy. It's really crazy. You straight up. And to not put our head in the sand. We need to open our eyes and see what time it is and just act accordingly. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. More prayer. That's all I can say.
Yeah, more
And
prayer.
action. All right.
Kingsley?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Maxine. Kingsley?
Hi, good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Kingsley.
Blessings. Just wanted to add to what Nicole was saying in response to Doc's question. What I've been doing lately is, since we can't get these seeds, I've been growing some of these things like the chives in my backyard in containers, and then as they grow out, we carry them to a certain section of the farm to grow them. So right now I'm in the third growing stage, where we're expanding out now the chives into the field amongst the sweet peppers to help prevention of certain insects affecting the sweet peppers. So one of the things I'm asking also is for those of you on the chat, if you have any herbs like rosemary and so forth, if you can, please try to preserve them, propagate them, and if you can donate a plant or two, I would appreciate even 5 rosemary plants so that I can continue the expansion. Because one of the things I'm trying to do also is to try to expand on my farm these various herbs so that we can have them as people come on, that they have a source where they can get these plants to help in the repellence of pests, which I found to be a good thing while growing things like tomatoes, and we just had a good experience with our Scotch bonnet peppers, right? And we're looking to expand that going forward. But we are trying our best to see how much of these different herbs we can use. And some of these herbs are also good for making repellent teas to spray the crops, right? So without us have to be using all these toxic chemicals, when we have these things that on island that we can use. And come the end of April, you'll hear further on that. We're also looking for volunteers to come on farm, to come and help with some of the things that we need help with. And at the same time, you'll be also be able to learn how to use certain tools. So if you need to learn how to use a bush cutter, or you want to learn how to use a hand tractor, you can volunteer your service. All right. You'll hear further as Nicole, we get these things sorted out. All right. God bless you. Thank you all.
Thanks, Kingsley. I mean, Kingsley, we definitely need you to do another EM with the EM. What number is that? EM5?
EM5.
EM5. So we're gonna have to get you to come and like do another workshop with everybody that wants because everybody's worried about the pest. The EM5 works, and Kingsley is the man on island that has been doing the work. And so when we talk about the farming, because you're organic farmers, we're not just looking at cash crop, we're looking at all of it, right? Everything that's growing, and a lot of the medicines are we're growing and we're just getting rid of them. And that's why we look at the tinctures, right? That's why we're making tinctures. I look in my thing, I said, no, it's not a weed. I look at all the Spanish needles there. I'm like, okay, we know that we use Spanish needle for pesto. Normally makes an excellent pesto out of the Spanish needle, but we also are drying it for a respiratory tincture for respiratory illness, right? So we're looking at across the board how do we navigate this landscape that we're in with abundance of things to heal us, and we have to learn more about it. All right, thanks, Kingsley. We're gonna definitely do it. Janice?
Kingsley, is it the type of chives you want? I have garlic chives. Will that work?
Any chives, any other chives.
I have garlic chives, so I can always give you some.
Okay.
Love it, the sharing. Atayoma, Miss Medicine Woman.
Greetings, blessings to everyone. Guidance and protection in this time. So thank you so much, Nicola. We really did need this. We needed a connection and fellowship and sisterhood, and to be able to share ideas as well. So I have started my garden in the back, and honestly, I needed the assistance and support that I got from, a strong back, a strong pair of arms. I have this young man that was, I was helping him, he was helping me. And that made it possible because I needed a little fence. I have dogs, so I had to have a fence around what I was growing, make sure it's clean and clear, and shore up another fence that I'd put together. And then, we started the seedlings, we put them in. And now I have a little farm there with some very useful little plants. So my suggestion is that there are many people, I know perhaps in my neighborhood, there are people that really would love a backyard garden, but they haven't either the strength or the um, knowledge to start it themselves. So I'm suggesting, sorry, oh, I'm suggesting that we start a crew, a team to help them to, get proper soil. Arundi and another sister and myself, we've been doing biochar, up the road. So, he's going to be starting workshops on making that. And we also are, I have, we can get goat manure from the goat milk lady. And there's so much, So I think that if we pull the resources together, put out a little flyer and ask whether or not people are interested in, starting up their little garden, then we'll get some good response.
So absolutely. I know that, we are obviously, you're close to the Hope Gardens. I know that we're supposed to be doing the composting workshop with Lise and Michael from Durgas Den in Kingston. And I think it's a great opportunity to call to action all the folks that are in these urban spaces to be able to come. I mean, the ministry has always talked about backyard gardens, right? And I give them credit for that. But part of it now is to put it into practice. And I'm telling folks that we have a 6 month window to really start doing something. And if you don't know, let's get together and let's get that, let's get the training going. We can throw the fires, we can spread the word, and just gather folks. And it's not, maybe sometimes it's not everybody going to get it all at once, but you definitely get 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. You just never know. So I'm just encouraging us to really do that. And so let's get that worked on, and we can host it at Hope Gardens, in the space that we're in, or we go up and we figure out which yard we're going to work on next, right? That's how we've always done this thing. And St. Thomas said Eastern Backcountry movement, and we were going to make something. We make a solar dryer for one person. We gather again and make another solar dryer for somebody else. We gather again. That's how we've been doing it. And so just let's form the groups who are interested, and then we'll just continue to go. I see Solidarity Yard, and then Maxine, and I see Wendy, and then we're going to close out.
Greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
Blessings and love. I just so appreciate of this circle and the power in this circle and the voices and everything you're just echoing, so much that we've been praying on and growing here. We're fortunate to be at the crossroads. We are at a crossroads of St. Anne, St. Mary, and St. Catherine here at Solidarity Yard. And so for folks who, want to experience some of what we've been growing, we have been spending lots of time actually before Melissa came through, we really were actively planting a lot of ground provisions because that's where I believe a lot of the food security is going to be coming down the pike, and doing a lot of drying our cacao, our chocolate, and drying our bananas, and the coconuts, just everything that was coming off the land. We're just trying to create spaces inside the space to make sure that we have some food, and not just have food for ourselves, but have enough food that we can share. And we were able to do that in post Melissa. We're still very much in startup. We're still learning so much. And what we're noticing is building in the local community is probably the best thing we can do. I know that a lot of us kind of stay very insular, want to do the thing ourselves. And I've been learning that I got to pull in my community that's right next door, my farmer next door, the builder next door. And I think that that's what we've been doing that's helping us to grow. And a lot of people are very resistant to this organic farming thing. But we don't care. We're trudging ahead because basically at the end of the day, when Melissa was, all the trees had blown them and people didn't have any food, they came over here and they were like, Mama P, how things going? Can I get a And so it's just a testimony to what you're speaking. And we also, did get hit pretty, the house got hit. So we've been building, building in new systems, and we're at that foundation place that we're thinking about, um, when the next cycle comes, which it's coming, it's already here, it's on its way. So just encouraging us to not give up on our neighbors, even if they are negative, even if they're, I don't know what you're doing over there. For those of us who have farms or have spaces, I've been learning to ask for help and get specific about the help I need. And so I want to say that we're welcoming folks into the farm, but we're again have very specific ways that we introduce people to the farm, because we have a process that we're upholding as organic farmers. And sometimes, and also spiritual, it's a very food is spiritual, and the farm is a spiritual, it's a body, it's a being. And so coming into the space, it's not just about growing food. It's also about respecting the land and respecting the spirit of the land. And the land is saying, no, you can't come today. We just gotta go with what the land is saying. So we're really wanting to just echo the power of community, and this community is really, what you've been creating and what we've continuing to create is really powerful. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And yeah, you talk about recipient of food. When she called up and said, I have got potatoes here, and we're willing to, share and be able to share it with the folks that are that from the Western parishes that don't have it because they went through all that devastation. So that's where it's the abundance and the bounty and community is all about that. That's why I'm like, you got to know your farmer. If you don't know a farmer, you better quick know somebody quick that there's something going on. You can go catch and go ask them for something, right? And it's not, and also be able to put something in the ground. Maxine, yeah, something else to share? And then we go to Wendy and then we close out.
Thank you, Nicole. Okay, the lady who was speaking about persons who would like to farm, have their backyard garden, but they don't know how to do it. I can recommend to you, you can share it with others and others on this platform who don't know how to farm. There's a newspaper that is called Freedom Come Rain. It is sold at the Tarrant Baptist Church. And in that newspaper for the past 5 years, we're 5 years old, there's always been a section that is called Backyard, Front Yard, No Yard, Garden Series. Nicole knows about it because she has been featured. And one of the things that we started 2 weeks ago, it's in this present edition, is teaching people how to actually grow things. So we have a volunteer, her name is Claudette Maitland, and she has volunteered to write those articles teaching people how to start from the basic seed mix that you use for seeds. And we're going to take them through up to about December. Each month, the last week in every month, we have a printed version of the paper, and the article will be there. They will get homework to do because we want it to be a practical exercise as well. So those are some of the responses, that other persons are are making towards this crisis, or doing rather, towards this crisis that is upon us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing an excellent job, and really give you, your team a lot of credit for continuing to do this and seeing that was what was going on, and you've been doing a lot of articles around this. So much respect. I see Wendy Joe was there. Are you still on, Wendy? You have something to share?
All right. So, Nicola, back in the day when we started our environmental program, you recall we would take the children up to make solar dryers and heat
Yes.
type of thing. So you were a foundation. So I'm proposing that one of the things we could do is actually try in another community, in 2 other communities, just for urban farming, that we could make them demonstration plots within the next 3 months if you are available.
Yeah, man, we definitely need to do that and have that conversation. Yes, absolutely.
All right, thanks.
It's time. It's time. All right. So we don't gone over time. You should say, flash me over here with all that the time is up. But we just wanted to make sure everybody got a chance to have to say what they need to say. So I hope that everybody would have filled out the forms, the form that we sent, and we will be in touch over the next week, reminding everybody that we do have the training that's coming up on the 8th and the 9th. If you're on island, you have ability to come to those trainings, please do come and be in community with us. And also, let's talk about water. Very important, since we seem to be getting a lot of it these days. And we want to be prepared when we don't get it, right? So we want to make sure that we're doing that. So please, if you have any questions, reach out to us. We can get you on a bus, or if you're going to drive yourself to one of these sites, we can get you the proper direction. At this time, I just wanted to thank everybody. We have the president of JOAM on. We have a number of board members that are on, and also the Genesis team is on. I want to again thank everybody for the hard work that has been put in. Again, thanking Natalie for always being there to support us when we open and close. I'm going to actually ask you to help us close out, and you're going to start. We're gonna start back up again with the communication. We may miss a week because we're going to be actually in Westmoreland at Bluefields on Sunday the 19th, doing a listening lab, medical mission, and some other work with that community. So I will not be available for that. But there's other people that may be taking over for me on those days. But we need to start, just to bring that connection together, start sharing what we all are doing, and creating community as we move forward into this, little bit of turbulence in the fabric of time. So somebody's asking about the newspaper. You can type it in and put a link to the newspaper there. And Natalie, if you're still on, I'm asking to close this out.
Yeah, still here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicola, and thank you everyone for your questions. Thank you for your presence and your energy, because all of that contributed to what we co-created and how we move forward and what we continue to co-create. So obviously a lot of information was shared, and it's now up to us to decide what action to take on that information, who to reach out to, how you want to donate or how you want to contribute. And so I invite you just to come back to your body, right? To have that information settle, almost like a digestion process, right? When there's a lot that you take in, allowing it to digest in your being, to digest in your system. And so with that, maybe it's softening your breath, allowing for that breath to be easy in your body. And knowing that this is the call to action. This is the call to bring in positive changes in the world for ourselves and for the generations to come. And there really is no need to be afraid, because we go through these cycles as humanity every few thousand years. And here we are going through another cycle. And again, if we're here, if we're alive on the planet during this time, then we would have had to say yes to this assignment. And I think what's beautiful is that we get to do this in community. No one has to work solo. We get to do this in community. And so maybe imagine that there is threads of light stretching from where you are on the island, off the island, where you are on the planet, your dot on the planet, your dot of light. There are threads of light stretching from you to each other person on this call. And with those threads of light, we create a network where there's information that gets to be passed on from one person to the other. There's wisdom, there are resources, there's support. Again, so no one feels as though they're pushing through or fighting alone, but we all have access to the resources, information to support. And maybe just breathing into that, having that be real in this moment, because we're already doing it. We're already sharing, we're already receiving, we're already giving, we're already working in community. So seeing those streaks of light spread across the planet. And in your body, tuning into what is yours to do. From what you heard today, what is it that really brought a sense of aliveness in your being? What could you feel your body really respond to? What's yours to do? And deciding now what action you're going to take, whether it's completing the form or reaching out to someone, or finally planting those seeds in the backyard garden. What is yours to do? And deciding now to take that action. And with that, take a deep inhale and release. Beautiful. We'll do that 2 more times together. Deep inhale and exhale. Yeah. Feeling this earth breathe with us. Deep inhale and release. Beautiful. Thank you. All right, let's go forth and conquer. Or let's go forth and co-create. Let's try no more wars.
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you guys. It's beautiful to be able to spend this time with everybody, and just much, much love. And we will see a lot of you this week, or we'll be talking to a lot of you this week. So much peace and have a great rest of the evening. Much, much love.
Bye, all.
Bye.
Bye.